It was one of the coldest nights Pittsburgh had seen that winter, New Year's Day, 2002. The streets were icy and quiet, families still sleeping off the holiday. Inside a row house in the neighborhood of Crafton Heights, 13-year-old Alicia Kozakiewicz's family had just finished dinner. No one noticed when she slipped out the front door. She was going to meet a friend. What happened next would become a watershed moment in American history, the first widely reported case of a child being abducted by a predator she had met online. It would spark federal legislation, reshape how parents talk to children about the internet, and ultimately launch one of the most tenacious child safety advocates the country has ever produced. This is a story of Alicia Kozakiewicz and how a 13-year-old survived the internet's darkest corner and then went to war.
Wow.
Welcome to Crisis and Consequences, a true crime podcast with a purpose. We dive into murder stories and the complicated humans behind them, blending storytelling, dark humor, and real conversation. Listener discretion is advised. This podcast contains dark, troubling, and explicit content.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Crisis and Consequences. I'm Charity.
And I'm KB.
I'm KB, spitting water all over my face. Yeah. Oh, I'm telling you what, this back stuff, especially this, like every time it's like we get up in between recording and I'm like,
I'm sure.
I'm like, oh, pretty soon I'm going to need a hoist or something. Also, my back keeps spasming. So I'm laying in bed. Picture this. Picture this. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm laying in bed and it starts spasming. And then from my belly side, it looks like an alien's going to bulge out. Yeah, because it's spasming in the back. I'm like,
so it's making your
alien
organs,
movie.
Like,
yeah. I'm like, something's going to come out of there. So Alicia, I'm going to just keep butchering her last name. So Kozakiewicz, I think, is how you say it.
I'll take it.
Was born on March 23rd of 1988. She grew up in Pittsburgh. She's this like bright girl, kind of shy. And like most teenagers at the turn of millennium, had discovered the internet as this way to like, ooh, the world is so much bigger than just my neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
So as you may recall, chat rooms, remember those things? Were kind of the social media of that era, right? They're anonymous, but they're unmonitored, but they can be really exciting. I actually have never entered a chat room in my life, but I do know they were very mainstream and could become issues. So around 2001, Alicia begins chatting with someone she believes, never true.
Yeah, I mean.
To be a teenage girl named Christine. Okay. So Christine, they just seemed to click. She understood her. She listened to her in ways that no one, when you're 13, right?
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, so she eventually discovers, because they had built up this rapport, that Christine was actually a 31-year-old man.
Mm.
And for some compelling reason, because of how that interaction made her feel, she kept talking to him. She kept chatting with him.
So did he fess up and tell her? Or
Yes.
Did she? Okay.
Yep.
Well, I'm glad that.
Well, he started showing her some things and grooming her and all the things. So, yeah, but he had to kind of out himself at some point. But he talked to her about the things she cared about at the time, right? Like the Spice Girls and the Backstreet Boys and the movie Titanic. And like this person literally became her best friend. She felt special and beautiful and important and all those things. And that's grooming. I mean, that's grooming.
It is.
That's
because
how
I'm
they
like,
do
why
it.
on earth is a 31-year-old man talking to a
Pedophile creep? Yeah. And so they normalize these strange behaviors in this relationship, and it kind of starts to erase those boundaries of like right and wrong and danger.
Yes.
And so this is how it happens. So Christine, 31-year-old male Christine, then introduces Alicia to a man in a Yahoo chat room, and his name was Scott Tyree. So he's a 38-year-old divorcee. He's a computer programmer from Herndon, Virginia. And over the course of nearly a full year, Tyree grooms Alicia further. He's building trust, establishing emotional intimacy, and then he carefully maneuvers around the one safety measure her family had put in place. And what that was is that they were smart but even in those days, they had the family computer in the living room, so anyone could see the screen.
Yeah.
Okay. So he contacts Alicia late at night after her parents go to sleep. She stays awake and she sneaks down there, gets on the computer, right? So by the time he had asked her to meet him in person, the groundwork had been laid for months and months and months, including having exposed her to child pornographic material to desensitize her to what was to come. He drove from Virginia to Pittsburgh, which was more than 300 miles, and waited for her outside her family's home on the night of January 1st of 2002. So Alicia, who later described knowing on some level that she was walking into danger. She goes anyway because she'd been groomed to trust this person, right? So she sneaks out after dinner one night, and she goes about a block away from her house to meet him. But the moment she approaches the vehicle, the BFF illusion was destroyed. He grabs her by the arm, forces her into the car, tells her, hey, that lady, there's space in the trunk if you cause any trouble. And then he drives through the night back to Virginia. Meanwhile, her mom is calling her down from her room for dessert.
Oh.
Like, that's how quick she was gone. But she's gone. She slipped out, like, just in no time at all. So now back in Pittsburgh, it would be...
imagine how terrifying.
Right? Like, she loves dessert. Where she, you know what I mean? And then just like, what do you mean she's
Where's
gone?
my kid? I have no idea. Ugh.
So back in Pittsburgh, it would be hours before they would realize she was gone. And when they did, they called police immediately. What followed was a desperate search, this race against time. And they really, at that time, didn't know what they were dealing with, right? Mm-hmm. So according to statistics from the U.S. Department of Justice cited by Pittsburgh Magazine, children who are abducted in circumstances like these rarely survive. Alicia, statistically speaking, should not have made it home. So he brings her to his townhouse in Herndon, Virginia. The basement had been transformed into what investigators would later describe as a makeshift dungeon, never a good description, stocked with knives and whips and chains and a cage.
Gosh.
He's a sick mother.
So now, pardon me for not listening or following along properly. Is this the same guy, or the guy who groomed her gave her to this other icky dude?
First guy, Christine, introduced her to this guy.
Okay.
Allegedly.
Okay.
Maybe it is the same guy, but I didn't find anything to say that.
Okay.
It sounded like it was two different people.
I'm just like, why would he? Anyway.
Well, because there's some that will do the thing, but they're not maybe fringe or extreme enough to actually go abduct somebody. And so, but
or in trafficking world, is he getting paid?
He videos stuff. Yes, he's getting paid somehow. Yeah. So she's now in the dungeon. He has her chained to a pole by a collar around her neck. The place smelled like the horde of cats that was running around inside it, which to me is one of the worst smells on the planet. So that would be like, just kill me now, please. And comic books and computer equipment. Like, so this guy's a total comic book, computer equipment, pedophile nerd, right? Yeah. So for 4 days, he beats her, he tortures her, he sexually assaults her, he starves her, he deprives her of water. He also inflicted physical abuse, including beatings with a wooden paddle and a broomstick handle. But the cruelty didn't end in the basement. Like, he live streamed this abuse to an audience of other sick SOBs, broadcasting her suffering in real time to complete strangers. So investigators are still trying to find her. They're coming across these things, but they don't know where she's at. Alicia later describes this period of captivity with a clarity that kind of underscores how traumatized she was. Mm-hmm. She feared that he intended to kill her. She was 90 pounds and 13 years old, and she was completely alone.
Yeah.
But she was also really smart. She resigned herself to doing whatever she had to do to survive. And on that fourth day, he said to her that he was starting to like her too much. Mm. And she knew, because he said that night after his work, we're going to go for a ride. She knew, like, oh, he's going to kill me. Yeah. So the rescue, when it came, was the product of both investigative work and a stroke of extraordinary luck. So Tyree, as investigators later pieced together, he was kind of reckless. And so he would boast online that he had finally gotten a teen sex slave because he's cool. And he shared images of Alicia bound in his basement with someone in an online chat. Now, that person had seen the missing child alerts on Alicia, and they're like, huh. So they called the FBI.
But is this all like underground?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I'm not asking this like literally, but I'm like, I don't even know how you get to the black market, wherever this is. I don't know how you get to this side of the internet.
Good. Don't.
Well, I would never, but I'm like, how are these people finding this stuff out?
Because they're deviant.
Like drugs. So it's like
desperate.
You kind of tip your toe in the water and
they're deviant human beings, and they cannot function in normal circles, so they have to, yes, they're going to find each other. History has shown us over and over again that these sick people find each other. And then they start to normalize this thing. And then that lets them express who they are in really disgusting and disturbing ways. And I get, run it dome, baby. Let's put them there too. I think that dome's going to crash into the ocean pretty soon.
Have too many people.
It's getting heavy, yeah. So the anonymous informant gave investigators this guy's online username, and from that username, federal agents were able to trace the IP address back to where he lives. So this digital breadcrumb trail, boom, 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 got him in their sights. And so on January 4th of 2002, FBI agents surround the property. This is the same day he said, we're going for a drive. They burst through the door. She hears the commotion and she's terrified because she feared the men storming in were people he had sent to hurt her. So she hides under the bed. And but she decided to fight. So she's like, screw this. Like, she comes out from under the bed. She's still chained.
Yeah.
And she sees the barrel of a gun pointed at her. And so at 4:10 p.m., agents find her in the basement, chained to the floor and collared, but alive. And she realizes, oh my gosh, these are the cops.
Yeah.
So this was actually a quote. On the fourth day, I remember thinking, today is the day I have to fight, and it's probably going to kill me. I'm probably not going to make it out of this alive, but I'm not going down without a fight. Later that day, she heard the FBI SWAT team beating in the door, and as they entered, she said, quote, I saw the most beautiful letters in the alphabet, FBI, in bold yellow on the back of their jackets, and I knew I was safe. Damn it always sneaks up on me. So he was at work when they found her, and so he was arrested at his workplace, embarrassed, in front of everybody about 30 minutes later. So she's taken to the hospital, she's examined, she's released that evening into the care of Fairfax County Child Protective Services. Her parents could not travel commercially due to the media attention, so the FBI arranged a private flight for her family to get to her. And his piece of shit was charged with federal crimes, including transporting a minor across state lines with intent to engage in criminal sexual activity. He faced additional state charges in Virginia. And in an 8-hour interrogation with the FBI, he confessed in detail to grooming Alicia online, abducting her, chaining her in his home, doing all the things he did to her, and live streaming all the abuse. In September of 23, a federal judge sentenced him to 19 years. He was going to kill her.
Yeah, I don't.
19 years and 7 months is not enough. But for a doughy comic book computer nerd, I bet he's having fun in prison. Come here, baby.
Ugh, gross, Charity.
He deserves every bit of it. I don't care. I don't care. He deserves it. So he appealed, and the sentence was upheld, fortunately, in an opinion authored by Judge Marjorie Rendell. So for Alicia, she was understandably had PTSD. She experienced significant memory loss. Much of her life before the abduction became difficult or impossible to recall, even after 4 days. That's how traumatized she was. She later said that in 2002, most people found it inconceivable that a child could be groomed so completely by a stranger online. And that was what was going on then, was that default response was to blame the victim. And we still see that sometimes now. Like, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? Like, they don't. I'm sorry. If that's your first question, you don't know what you're talking about, just swallow it and shut the hell up. That was the response. And so she was getting a lot of that blame, like, why'd you talk to strangers? Blah, 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 blah. So she was like, she was mourning. She really, really struggled. But she did fight back. She created something called the Alicia Project. And so for most people who survive trauma like Alicia's, they spend years just kind of like trying to get through it. So she did that. But then at 14 years old, she began to speak out. At an age when most teenagers are worrying about teenager things, she's like, I'm going to use my weapon as a story, like my story as a weapon against these predators and try to save other people like her from becoming victims. So she founded the Alicia Project. So it's an advocacy organization, and it's built around internet safety education. And she was like the frontier, person doing this. She began traveling to schools and talking to kids and meeting them where they're at, especially kids who are the age she was when he found her, right? She tailors her presentations for every audience. She does not hold back on what happened to her. She wants it to make an impact. But law enforcement officials who witness her presentations note that she connects with young people in ways that authority figures just can't. So she's really effective. After high school, she studied psychology and forensics, which is so kick-ass. And she was drawn to those fields by the FBI agents who saved her life. So she later pursued a master's degree in forensic psychology at the Chicago School, where she channeled her own difficult experiences into therapy and research on how mental health professionals can better help survivors of these types of issues. In 2007, she testified before the House Judiciary Committee, warning Congress about the dangers of internet sex crimes. And so lobbied for the passage of Protect Our Children Act of 2008. So she's just like getting in there and really is on the forefront of all of this. Alicia's Law, I didn't know this. Like I learned this researching. I know what ICAC is, Internet Crimes Against Children. Yeah. A measure she championed in multiple states is what created that revenue stream to fund ICAC.
Oh, wow.
So that's really, really, really important. And Alicia's Law has now passed in 11 states. And and she now has Wisconsin. In Wisconsin alone, the law helped enable the arrest of more than 1,000 online predators by 2018. And they also used Alicia's Law funding to add a canine officer trained to detect hidden electronic devices, and they named him Kozak in honor of Alicia. Isn't that sweet? So she's still determined she's going to get Alicia's Law in all 50 states. Scott Tyree, in the meantime, February of 2019, after serving the bulk of his sentence, he was released from a prison in North Carolina and assigned to a halfway house in Pittsburgh. Whatever.
I just don't
But
know.
it was close to her family's home. And so they're like, no. So she, her parents, and multiple members of Congress raised urgent objections to the Federal Bureau of Prisons, demanding he be relocated elsewhere. So a judge finally ruled that Tyree should be relocated. But before that could happen, this dumbass, he's a pedophile.
Yes. So
You can't fix it.
Yeah.
He violates the terms of his parole
Of course he does.
by accessing pornographic websites, probably child pornographic websites. And so he got put back in. Like, how about don't ever let him out?
Yeah, enough.
Don't let him out. Don't let him have access to these things. Stop. Somebody else is going to get hurt. So today she's doing her thing. She's an internationally recognized motivational speaker, and she's, just really trying to help get the message out there. There's a lot of good material. We'll have a lot of that linked in the show notes. The tools have changed, and they're still trying to keep up with all of that. But now, these predators are running at scale across they're infiltrated everywhere. I mean, they literally are like...
It's so bad. It's so bad.
Infection.
It's like
that you cannot
cockroaches.
get rid of.
It just keeps getting worse and
Yeah.
worse and worse. And that's the thing. We keep educating, and people know. We keep talking about it, and yet somehow it just keeps getting worse. I don't understand. It's all money.
Got to blow it up.
It's all money and nastiness. But
I mean, I know we would take a big hit, but on some days it'd be like, just blow up the internet, please.
oh, I know. It's
I mean, I'd figure out how to live without Amazon, right?
yeah. I don't know. I've thought about that too for numerous reasons, but it's like it won't it'd be so
There's
easy
just
to
too many people expressing and seeking and doing these things that there's just never going to be enough law enforcement to catch them.
No.
There's not. They're outnumbered.
It's so bad.
So the only thing we can do is listen to people like Alicia, protect our children. One of the things she said to Congress was, the boogeyman is real and he lives on the net. He lived in my computer and he lives in yours.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a great.
It was right, punch you right between the eyes.
Yeah. And it's terrifying. And I think that, I don't know. It is so much bigger than we even realize as a problem. And I think that there's, the least you can do is, I guess, protect your own kids. But at the same hand, it's like, and that's hard to do too. You know what I mean? Because kids are Kids,
They're clever
we've talked
and they're
about before.
vulnerable, and
Yeah,
that's a bad
stuff-
combination.
and sometimes stuff like even happens at grandma and grandpa's house
Yeah.
because we've talked about
I've had that happen with friends where the grandparents didn't realize, and they hand the kids a tablet, and they're like, "Oh, I can, because this one's not locked down. I can access whatever."
Yeah. And
Bingo,
sometimes
bango.
it doesn't even take. I don't remember what I had typed something in, and it was an innocent search on Pinterest of all places, and I don't remember what it was, but I was like, in my Pinterest feed, there was inappropriate.
Ooh.
It was porn. There was inappropriate porn in my Pinterest of all places, and I was like, what on earth? And I was like, how did I get that from this? And it was like a slight typo.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's still to me in my brain, my innocent brain, if you will, of way of thinking, like it was a stretch. But I'm like, if I can do that,
Yeah.
looking for like a recipe,
Oh, yeah.
like of hamburger buns, and I'm getting this,
Oh, dear. I don't want to know.
then what are your kids
Right.
finding on accident? Because it doesn't always have to mean that your kids are searching this
On
stuff out.
purpose.
Yeah. But then that's my other thing is how many kids, because curiosity.
Or just something
Did
that's
you ever
popular,
see this? Is so funny.
right?
You should check this out.
Yeah.
And it's like, so they look it up.
Yep.
And I don't know. And then don't even get me started on Roblox. We've already talked about that too. But
Yeah.
it's like everything. And these are spaces where I'm like, Roblox needs to get shut down at this point. Like it shouldn't even exist anymore. But I'm like, there are gift cards hanging up in your stores for Roblox, geared for kids.
Really?
For all, it's a kids game. Do you hang out on Roblox?
No.
But guess what? It's kids and predators.
Oh, it's gross.
There's a whole Sean Ryan, like his podcasts are, no offense, Sean Ryan, they're long, so I don't ever get to like watch all of them. But where he's interviewing a kid that talks all about this stuff. I mean,
Really?
it's so sickening. Yeah, it's terrible. Anyway.
Well, if this episode has raised concerns about a child in your life, you can contact the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at missingkids.org or call 1-800-THE-LOST. Or to report suspected child exploitation online, you can visit Cyber Tip Line. And you can learn more about Alicia's Law and how to support it in your state by visiting aliciakozakiewicz.com. And we'll have all of that in the show notes as well.
Yep. All right.
Well,
now to change.
do we have a crisis
We
hotline?
do have a crisis hotline.
Okay.
So, as always, this is our new little thing to kind of close us down every week. You guys are welcome to send in your questions. If you want advice, just whatever it is. Send it to hello@crisisandconsequences.com. Today's question is, and we'll just keep them anonymous, I think.
Okay.
For safety. So this one says, my neighbor was kicked out of his house and decided to move into the ditch behind my house.
What on earth?
What's the best way to ask him to leave?
My neighbor was kicked out of his house
Yeah, so he
and moved into the ditch behind my house.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So they're neighbors
But now it's an unhoused neighbor.
living in the ditch behind your house.
Okay, so my first question is like logistic. Who owns the ditch? Is the ditch an easement? Is it a city problem, or is it a trespassing issue? Is it on personal property? Is it on
ditches
private
usually-
property?
Ditches are usually city.
They're
aren't they?
usually in the easement, yeah.
So that would be.
Do we know where they live?
No.
No? Okay. So, yeah, this would be, most communities have something that's like no camping in
Yeah.
public spaces. So
I wouldn't approach said person.
I just think also how well do you know them?
Yeah.
Do you know them well enough where it's just like,
Is it temporary?
oh, but then why aren't they asking like, hey, can I just camp in your backyard? But in a ditch?
Well, yeah, I don't know.
That just seems odd.
It is. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Me-
I don't know if I'd approach.
And
that
who are we
with the
giving
odd
advice
behavior.
to? The person who not living in the ditch or the person living?
Person not living in the ditch.
Okay, the person not living in the ditch.
The person that is in their home, but is noticing that someone who used to be their
I
neighbor.
think the simplest thing is to call law enforcement, and it's not about criminality. It's about welfare checks. Law enforcement do welfare checks all the time because, believe it or not, law enforcement know, at least in our community and a lot of communities, they know what the resources are for people who are experiencing these types of, hopefully situational issues on, hey, I lost my place to live or whatever. Because the longer, what we do know statistically from here at One Heart, the longer something like that goes on, the more likely it is to become a more permanent situation.
Oh, totally.
Because pretty soon, if you don't have a solid address, you can't gain employment because there's no place for them to look you up or tie you to or send your checks to or whatever. And then pretty soon things just start to devolve. So I would call in a welfare check. Don't feed him.
No, because they'll keep coming back.
Yeah, or they, creep in. And if you think he's safe and you really know him, that's one thing. But if it's just a stranger living in a ditch in your backyard, that's...
Or call the neighbor who kicked him out and be like, hey, you realize...
Should I be worried?
My thing is, I'm like, is this like a divorce situation or like a breakup situation? Like, what is going on?
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, where I'm like, they didn't have a doghouse, so he's just temporarily
You're in the
like,
ditch.
Go in the ditch. I don't know.
Not the doghouse.
Yeah. I guess I would recommend if you know that neighbor that kicked him out, be like,
But if it's private property, if it is private property, you can trespass them or you can charge them rent. Hey.
I just don't want a squatter situation happening.
No. Squatter, that's the issue. But I think that has to be the structure.
Yeah.
I think that actually has to be the structure. So what do you know? Just do whatever you have to do to be safe. Especially if you feel unsafe, try to get some intel.
Yeah.
Get law enforcement involved. I think that's probably the easiest thing.
Well, because they have so many services to offer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, wow,
I don't know what I'd do if I looked out in my backyard and saw someone camped out there.
Yeah.
I think I'd feel unsafe.
I would not like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't like that feeling.
But knowing it was a neighbor who got kicked out, but why aren't they in the ditch behind their house?
Well, or maybe it's so I'm thinking back to our old neighborhood. Like, if there was no ditch in between us, but if there was, and let's say he got kicked out and so he was sleeping in the ditch, like camping it out in the tent for a few days, I would assume that they got into a fight. Maybe he's just going to be, who knows? Or maybe it's like, like back in the day when you'd ask your mom and dad if I can go camp in the backyard.
Yeah. That's the best.
Like, that's where my brain would kind of run through all these things. But I think if I knew that neighbor in any capacity, I'd be like, ring, ring.
Yeah.
Dude,
what's up? Why'd you kick him out?
Why is so-and-so
Did they attempt to do something? Like, were you unsafe?
Mm-hmm.
What's going on? I need more information.
This is not
I wish we had more context.
normal. I know.
We might have to do a part 2 on that one. I need some
Follow up.
context.
Hey, give us more information. So, who knows? But anyway, well, send us your questions. We will be happy to answer them with any advice we can.
Crisis hotline.
Yes, our
Ring, ring.
Crisis and Consequences.
Not what phones sound like anymore, but
I kind of wish they would. I do really miss traditional phones.
do you?
Mm-hmm. Like the rotary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was something kind of, not when you were in
Just
a hurry, but
like it was aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And hanging up the phone.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
now it's like. Not that
It doesn't have quite the same punch. If you didn't live through the era where you could slam that phone on the wall, it just doesn't have the same.
Yeah. Like.
Yeah, it doesn't
being
have the
able
same
to
punch.
Slam it down. Just, yeah. Not that I was angry a lot, slamming a lot of
I've already
phones
broken
down,
my phone screen. This is my 3rd phone screen on this phone. I don't want to slam anything down because they're too expensive.
They are. It's ridiculous.
Like, we have to cuddle these things that we care. We're like slaves. This is the new.
It's a chain.
Got a chain around your neck, ball and
Because,
chain.
like, I'll leave the house and I'm like, oh, no, I don't have my phone. And there are parts of me some days when I have done that and I'm like, it doesn't matter.
Can I survive?
If we're on the weekend, I'm like, it's fine.
But you know what? Like, technically, I can't do my job
Yeah.
without my personal cell phone.
Yeah. Most people
Because we can't afford to give employees company cell phones. And so all of these accounts and stuff with all the 27 multi-factor authentication stuff, which I understand because people are criminals and it's awful. But there's some days I could not do my job because I wouldn't be able to get the things through my phone.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'd be screwed.
Super annoying.
Something happens to it. I'm like, oh, I can't work. I guess. Ooh, I can retire. Yes, problem solved. Phone is going to be lost. I'm going to work on that. I don't have a landline anymore. Out the window. sunroof, later days.
Fine.
Yeah, is actually very appealing. Did you see how excited I got about that?
It makes me excited even thinking about that. Like I'm like, makes me feel like I can breathe. Like there's a weight taken off of me.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's like a literal
I
change.
mean, it is like whack-a-mole all day, right? Where it's like, so me, I have OCD, and I cannot handle clutter of any kind, electronic or otherwise.
Oh, no.
So several times a day, I'm like, oh my God, there's all these spam emails. Like, clear them out. I got to clear them out, right? I have to keep everything like manageable so I know what's in there. Neat and tidy. I don't do it for half a day, and it's like, holy crap.
Oh, it's insane. I don't even know why. Like, who's...
And it doesn't work.
No, that's why I'm like, whoever's sending all these spam emails, like...
Quit listening to me. I'm not buying your shit through emails.
It's weird.
Now, when I'm playing a game, that's another thing. I have gotten better. I really have gotten better.
I don't do any of it.
Yeah. I'm finding therapy has supplanted the need for a lot of that shopping I was doing therapy is helping. So
that's good.
Oh, Lord, help me.
Well.
Yeah, anyway.
All right. Well,
that's a wrap. Thanks, everybody.
Send us your questions to hello@crisisandconsequences.com. Leave us a 5-star review. We greatly appreciate it. Yeah. And until next week, we will be back with a new episode. See you then.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.